course coordinator, Professor Muhammad Rizwan Khan. In this session, Professor Khan will guide us through key reflections and insights from the course so far, tying together themes from the past 2 days and inviting thoughtful engagements from participants. So we want to invite you.
Okay. All right. So I was listening to the lectures the last 2 days. The third day, and I could see the concern of the speakers, what they were talking about in the lectures. We discussed about so many things with regard to education. Sorry. Okay. So Ilva was they can listen to. Okay. Am I audible? Okay, fine. So Ilva was she gave PPT with regard to problems and issues and biases. Lots of things she talked of in her first and second day lectures. Binod Mishra was also talking of communication and soft skills. And there also he talked of some issues, same issues, same type of issues, same type of biases and anxiety and all those things. So I had thought of giving a sort of lecture, a talk on recent initiatives in teacher training, which is actually very important if you want to be a successful teacher. Even otherwise, you need to be very impactful in the classroom. So there are, I will talk of that soon, but before that, go to the first slide. Okay. First slide. So this is the first slide about which I talked to you while, as a comment, I told you that the purpose of teaching is not to impart knowledge. This is my basic concept of classroom or beyond classroom learning. Imparting knowledge is not important. Okay? What is the meaning of knowledge? What is the meaning of knowledge? For example, anything. I will tell you what people did at AMU. There was a time when people started teaching communicative English. It was known as functional English earlier. And that was a UGC project. And I was the coordinator of that. And we introduced writing CV, note-taking, study skills, and everything was there. And the question that was asked in the examination was, what is a CV? How is it different from resume? That type of question. And so you won't believe, I took 10 years in changing the mind of the teachers to say that ask them to make a CV rather than asking what is a CV. I'm telling you, I took 10 years in doing that. That was a tough, that was a time. There is no need of asking what is a CV. That was because it's available. And with the emergence of internet and Google and all this, it's on your fingertips. You can easily browse it. Am I right? So the basic purpose of teaching is not imparting knowledge. I have another reason also for that, because in premium institution in India, people don't teach text. There is no text. They don't teach text. They teach case studies, advertisement, application part. Okay. And this is being done in India. So that the concept of teaching the text is actually obsolete in a premium institution in India. But if you want to do that, for example, at AMU, because there is in the absence of any training to students, they will not understand what exactly are you doing. So that is why there is a need to train students also. If you go to the class and give a case study, they say that I don't have any understanding of marketing. Why are you giving a case study of marketing? First, teach me what is marketing. So I'm not talking of English only. I'm talking of any subject, any content, physics, chemistry, biology, anything. Okay. But since in India, majority of institutions, schools or colleges or universities are there in semi-urban area or rural area. Majority. Only 5% are there in urban areas. Most others are there in semi-urban area or rural area. So that is a limitation, a big limitation for us. We cannot teach case studies in such colleges. Okay. So what I think that the purpose of teaching should be create independent learners. Create independent learners. And there is a justification for that. The justification is, as I often say, that when the British came, they decided for English as a medium instruction. They needed content. So the literature available to them, that became the content for not teaching literature, but for teaching language. Okay. So they did not introduce the whole volumes of English literature to Indians, not to enlighten them, okay, but to teach English language. As I said earlier in here, that they wanted Indians to be Indian in blood, but British in taste, and that is Macaulay. Okay, so they had, they had undermined the whole education system of India, Oriental learning. So they changed two things: medium instruction and content of education. Okay. Now, I'm a student at AMU. Maybe Othello is prescribed in the syllabus. After completing the course, I was appointed in, say, in a college in Muradabad. And there, Othello is not there. Othello is not, not prescribed. So वहां पे आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि हमें क्यों नहीं पढ़ाया गया, क्या बात है? You are a teacher now. So you should be trained as independent learner. Othello ko, I should teach Othello in a way that if you give me Hamlet, I should be able to teach that. If you give me Lucy poems, I should handle that. If you give me Prelude, I can handle that. Anything, any content. So that is why I said in the last, in a couple of days, 1 or 2 days back, that if you give fish, it's good for 1 time or 2 times. But if you teach fishing, that is good for your whole life. So teaching is actually good for training in fishing. So keep that in mind. So that's my first lesson to you as a part of teacher training. We consider you all to be a successful teacher in times to come. Those junior to me and freshers also. I want you to teach them, to train them. And for that training, certain aspects are there about which Ilva talked and Vinod Mishra talked. So I will be talking to you about those things also in a couple of minutes. So there is a book. Have you heard of that? Culture Vulture. Have you heard of that? So I'm not talking of that here, but I thought of reminding you that there are people who are opposed to culture also. But I'm not going to talk that. Ilva talked of canon and world literature, folk tradition also, gender, caste, linguistic diversity. Okay, she talked of all those things. I was reminded of some cultural aspects. Which one? This one? Okay. Which one? Okay. So when I was in Oman, I was very young, and I was there in the classroom. That was the first week in Oman, and 2 students came and they greeted each other. Where is Musab? Okay. So do you know how they greet? They come very close, nose on nose, forehead on forehead, and bosa lete. That is their normal greeting. To men, I am saying, not women. Okay. And after that, they ask Khairiyat. It's very close to Kashmiri's Khairiyat. Aap kaise hai, Abba kaise hai? Huh? Am I right? So it's closer to that. They also have tradition in Kashmir. They will ask you many questions about Khairiyat. Am I right? But this is not there in our part. So they will ask you everything one by one. Father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, guy, bhans, for everything. Yeah, they literally ask you like that. So the greeting is not completed in less than a minute, more than that. So think of that. That was happening in the classroom because that was the beginning of the session. Okay. So that was one aspect of culture. I'm saying that because we don't know where we are going to be as a teacher. Nowadays, people are going to Eastern Europe also as a teacher from AMU. This second point, that was a time, that was 1 month, 1 month has passed in Oman, and it was co-education class, co-ed. It was not like Saudi Arabia, it was co-ed. And one girl asked me, I was doing what I do here, I'm moving around in the class. So one girl asked me, so what is the meaning of single? Not married. I said, not married. Then she was shocked. She asked this question from reading the book. And the sentence was single mother. And this I'm talking of Headway series. I'm sure you know that I gave this book to my ELT students, material presentation. There is a paragraph in which there is a paragraph in which there is a mention of single mother. So I said unmarried, but then I thought that there's some problem, so I went back and looked at the book, and I saw. So I was new, so I did not go at length about the meaning of single mother, and I just, ignored it, and I went ahead. Then, in a week's time, the head of the department called me, called all the teachers of the English department, and they asked the teachers to check the whole book and fold those pages which has objectionable content. Objectionable content, because in the headway there are photos of sea beach and all that. So that was there, and the head was British. His name was Michael Young, but they have to take care of cultural aspects in the book. The third one is, these are all real stories. Third one, it was a international seminar in linguistics department, and I was the discussant, who discusses. I mean, if you write a paper, I can become a discussant on your paper. So you will give the presentation, and then after that I will talk about your paper. So I was the discussant of a paper written by an Iranian fellow. So in his paper, he had written that a photo in some book. The photo was, there was a cat on the carpet. He said, not possible. Cats are not allowed. Mamnu in Islam. He was furious on that cute cat on a very decent carpet. So that is another limit of cultural aspects. So when I went there, I said that for him it is objectionable, but for me it is not an objection. Both of us are Muslims. So I explained on that particular point. So what I'm saying, that it is all a matter of tolerance. How tolerant are you in anything? In an error, in a photo, in greeting. You're not supposed to scold at the very outset. No. Give them some time, cut some jokes. So in that book, cat on the carpet was objected. You know, it's not permissible in Islam. That is what he said. I said that we are also Muslims. We follow Islam, but it's not like that. So there is a variation of Islam also. Vertical variation and horizontal variation. From place to place, from time to time. Okay. So the fourth aspect is vertical and horizontal variation in meaning. And the example is given in next bullet. That is ch sound in Assam. Assamese don't have ch. Anybody from Assam?
From Assam.
So I had a roommate for 1 month in Lucknow. I had gone for some refresher course. He was from Assam. His name was Deka. So every day, early in the morning, when I used to get up, I used to call Deka, come here, sing a song. And I used to ask him, sing a song. Which song? चांद चुरा के लाया हूं, चल बैठे चांद के पीछे. तो वो कहता था सांस चुरा के लाया हूं, चल बैठे सांस के पीछे. बोल ही नहीं पाता था. अच्छा, every day I was woke up by his shout. So do Sai. There was a young child who used to go around with cup of tea. So do Sai. So I used to get up with him, and then I used to ask him to sing a song, that song, Chand Chura Ke Laya. So this is because people say, phoneticians say that this is not possible because this sound is missing in their alphabet. For example, people say the Arabs they can't say Pepsi. They say, Bebasi. Pepsi, Bebasi, likhte hain na, Bebasi. Okay. So one Palestinian was here. It was a joke of AMU. He went to the chairman of the English department long back, and he asked, sir, may I pray? No, he asked, so, sir, do you pray? So he said, how do you know? So because he can't say pray, so he was saying bray. But later on, I realized when I went to Gulf, I saw that they speak those sounds which are missing in their alphabet. Okay? For example, g, 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 g. Many Arabs, they will say jiddan. Jiddan means very many. So they will not say jiddan, they will say giddan, g, which is missing in their alphabet, but they say giddan. Gamal Abdul Nasir. Gamal, Egyptian. Gamal, his name is Jamal Abdul Nasir, but he is pronounced as Gamal Abdul Nasir. So, language, it's okay. You are from linguistics. Okay, they don't pronounce the sound which is not available in their alphabet, but sometimes they pronounce those sounds very frequent while it is missing in their alphabet. So language is very interesting. You need to understand them. And that has a meaning also. Because all Arabs will not say Giddan. There is a certain class. Is somebody saying Giddan? He belongs to certain region, certain class, certain something like that. Okay. So what am I talking? As an English teacher, you are not supposed to make fun of them. Be tolerant. Okay. That's what I'm trying to say, that there are various types of situation in a classroom, in speech variety. You are not supposed to laugh. Laugh, in a better way. It should not hurt. We were talking of that during Binod Mishra class also and Ilva class also. Okay. So these are some of the very important aspects. So that is why my contention is that you have to be tolerant for errors, linguistic bias, attitudes, behavior. For everything as a teacher, we have to be very tolerant, very tolerant. What is your take on this? Are you reminded of some example? He talked of his experience when he was 10 years back, 20 years back. So all of us have some experiences. We are given names, keeping in mind our speech variety. Have you heard of Professor Bakra? Huh? नहीं सुना है. नहीं सुना है. Huh? You know it? नहीं, Nafis Bakra नहीं. Professor Bakra. You have not heard of? During Bakra Eid, when people go for purchasing goats and sheep, they look at what type of bakra? Not heavy and not too much of weight, lean and thin. That is called Professor Bakra. हाँ? मतलब उसका जो भी आप निकाल लीजिए. So if you are speaking a good variety also, still you have a name. बहुत प्रोफेसर बन रहा है. ठीक है? So what I'm saying that we, as a teacher in the classroom, especially when you are interacting with your students, we need to be very tolerant. So why I included this thing in my talk, because one thing, you know, as a student, as a trainee, we always expect the teacher to give you some formula, some model, and you will try to follow that also. So I am against that. Being tolerant, you know how much tolerant, you know, all of us have minds. Okay. All right. So giving formula is not so good. Somebody, he was there. He said that internet is not there. That's my normal practice. Then I asked, so what? What next? So you should think of next possibility, next possibility, next possibility. So that was my intention when I asked you what next, what should you do? So what I'm saying, that error tolerance is something which we know. In that situation, what exactly am I supposed to do? We know that. We all are intelligent. Are you intelligent? Yes. According to multiple intelligence, all are smart. All are intelligent. IQ is finished. So that's why I'm saying that everybody is smart. Everybody has the knowledge of. But I'm not able to understand my last point. Why miscalculation, gender bias? I'm talking of gender bias. Why miscalculation? Why not Mr. Calculation? Huh? Misunderstanding. Why not Mr. Understanding? I don't know. I have no answer for this, but I keep on asking to all of them. Huh? Sorry. Thanks for speaking today. On the third day, you are speaking. No, there is a bias in language also. And there we need to be smart enough. What class is it? Who are the students? Where are they from? You know what happened? Last semester, before last year, there was a student from Nagaland. There was a student before last year?
Yes.
I thought she's the foreigner. And I asked her, what country is yours? After that, till date, I'm ashamed. Yeah, because it is very problematic for them, because we consider them as a foreigner. That was very bad on my part.
They were told.
Huh? From Nagaland. Okay. After that, I said, sorry, I'm very sorry. I kept on saying that because I didn't like that. You have to be very sensitive to one's identity. So therefore, we have to be very alert in the class, in our speech. Whatever we are speaking in the class, we have to be very, very, alert in the class. Um, so there are lots of examples related to language use that since I'm teaching for 3 decades, more than 3 decades, so I have lots of examples where one needs to be careful. Um, so these are some of the points, and some other points will be in my other slides. This I have taken what exactly happens in an actual classroom. Is it your time? Was it your classroom? Huh? Was it like this? In your time? Look at this. I means the teacher. What the teacher does? आगे बैठ जाओ. What happens in your classroom? The teacher introduces. He will do all these things. Am I right? With some variation? With some variation? Be it poem, be it literary theory, be it physics, be it mathematics, any subject. The teacher will introduce, elaborate, define, give diagram, flow chart, types, exemplify, describe, summing up. Do you think this is required? In a semester system, even if it is required, you just can't do that. Ilva was saying right now, but that she can't complete her novel because of limitation of time. Next to impossible to complete a course, a text. I remember when I was in my MA first semester, we were taught Milton's Paradise Lost. And Professor Usmani Marhum, he took 1.5 months and a very regular teacher, very meticulous. He took more than 1.5 months in completing 10 lines of Milton's Paradise Lost. But that was yearly, annual exam. Now in semester system, not possible. You just can't do that. That is another practical aspects. But even otherwise, in annual system also, you are not supposed to do all these things. Because I was in academic staff college and I was talking of this concept. This slide I made recently, it's not so old, but the concept is with me for at least 25 years. I am against this. But this does not come overnight. It takes time for any teacher. Okay. So I was discussing this. So one teacher, he was a teacher of geography. He said that we can't do this in geography. So I asked him, give me a topic. He gave me volcano. So I asked him to keep shut, don't speak. And I asked other participants who were from other subjects, I asked them to speak. And I asked them some questions. Volcano is from sky. They said, no, sir. From where? From Earth. Okay. What happens? Why? When? Where? Is there any place where volcanic eruption is very frequent? All these questions I asked them. And I took not more than 5 minutes for that. And then I said that now you are the teacher of geography. Consider yourself, from my point of view, you be teacher. Now you explain volcano, you give definition. They give in bits and pieces, information in bits and pieces about volcano. Now you define, because you are a teacher of geography. So he did that. So I said that this is what you should do in the classroom also. Always give some very interesting, funny statement, and the student will react. Okay. So that is very good for introducing something. I mean, that is one strategy. There are various other strategies for introduction. So don't go and say that I'm going to teach you. No, don't use the word teach. I don't use the word teach. Don't use the word teach, because you are a facilitator. Don't consider yourself as a teacher, because I say that in each class, there is one or two students who is better than you. This is what is my belief. In each class, I have been seeing that. He will be good in speech. He will be good in writing. He will be very good in listening comprehension. Something. So don't teach. And as I said, that all are smart. So you don't teach smart people. Okay? I didn't say sarcastically. I mean it. So you can give introduction in couple of minutes by saying something in the class. So they let them introduce, then you can define. Okay. And the definition is also, sometimes it is fixed. For example, Newton's third law. You can't change. Okay. But if you have to define something, what is literature, you can say anything. Okay. So the diagram I have seen in schools, teachers draw a diagram on the blackboard. All of you have seen it. Is it required? You go to zoology department here also, go to botany, go to geology, go to physics, go to chemistry. They will give you a diagram. He just draws the diagram. It's not required. Those diagrams are there. And even if you want to draw a diagram for some reasons, you ask others, your students, to draw the diagram. So what is happening in actual classroom is that teacher is doing all these things. And what about the students? And listening is nothing. Most of you are from ELT and literature. When we ask this question, rate yourself, your ability in various skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. In listening and reading, they will say, I'm very good, because you don't test them. We don't test. Listening and speaking, they'll be very good. No, listening and reading, they say very good. But speaking and writing, there is, he can think that this teacher can ask me right now and write something here. So the criteria which is there, which can be tested, they are careful. But in those which is not tested, they feel free. Say anything. So they are silent listeners. With some difficulty, if you give 5 minutes, 7 minutes time towards the end, any question, 1 or 2% will speak something. And that's it. That is not the meaning of being facilitator. We say that if you allow them to ask questions, but that is not the purpose. Yeah. Okay. So in this, like, what types? Why do you give types? Why? There are 2 types of article, definite article, and everybody knows that. Who doesn't know at BA level or +2 level or high school level or 9th level or 8th level? Everybody knows that. Format of a formal letter. अब आप बता रहे हैं. No need. You understand me? So we have to distance ourselves from this practice. The third line, sweat your students, not yourself. In April and May and June and July and August, when I go out of my department, these teachers, they come. I ask them, what happened? What were you doing? They come sweating. Not tired. But they come sweating. बहुत गर्मी है, बहुत गर्मी है. Why? Students are comfortable. So the classroom should be such where you sweat your students. And this is metaphorical, in metaphorical sense. So this is a normal course of practice in our classroom. You are there, you think I said that you cannot do this thing overnight. It takes time. Okay? It takes time. But whatever is possible from the students, you ask them to do. But lecturing is very convenient for teachers. But actually, we are killing the students. Okay? So, that's this frame, this will improve learner's talk time. Learner's talk time. If you change variation in this pattern, if you sweat students to be engaged in the activities, learner's talk time will be improved. Okay? And teacher's talk time will decrease. Okay? So the basic purpose of teaching is not finishing the pages, but to train the students in becoming independent learner. So engage them in all these things. And that will, if you change this, that will become, the teaching will become learner-centric. 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 If you don't change, it is teacher-centric. And I'm saying time and again, whatever you are teaching, any subject, anything on this earth, I remember there was a professor here in anatomy. His name was, I forgot his name, Professor Ansari, something like that. Huh? Anatomy department, not English department. He was asked to deliver a lecture on brain in arts faculty lounge. Nobody was here that time. Nobody from you was there. He came and he delivered a lecture. He came with a skull. And he discussed brain. And believe me, each one of us understood it. A doctor, the teaching style was such that everybody understood that. That is the meaning of effective teaching. Okay? And that will improve, that will convert you from teacher to facilitator. So this is something in which you need to train yourself. That today I'm going, what exactly? So for 50 minutes or 45 minutes time, you need to decide, today I'm going to the class, I will teach one aspect only. Only one aspect. And in the next class, repeat something from the earlier class. And that is how you give some drill, some mental drill to students. You repeat that in the class. Take it from me. I don't believe in behavioristic philosophy. Mind is not an empty bucket. Nobody will pour you knowledge about teaching and learning. You have to think of this. And that is the purpose of teacher training. That is the purpose of teacher training. Okay. So keep it in mind that like she was talking of what classes? No, practice teaching class. So there, you can start from there. I mean, those who are in ELT, you can start from there. Okay. Or if you are giving tuitions, or if you are going to some coaching, try a bit of it. Today, I will not give the diagram. Let the student do it. See the effectiveness of that. एक को कहिए कि तुम बनाओ, फिर दूसरे को कहिए कि करेक्ट करो इसमें, फिर ये नहीं कहना कि गलत किया आप, ये नहीं कहना. Even if there is some mistake, leave it like that. Ask other to correct it. There is one more mistake. Can you correct it? 4-5 लोगों को आपने engage कर दिया उसी में. ठीक है? So it will take time. All of you are young. There is time. You should train yourself in engaging students, because what do we do in a class? This much only, not more than that. Am I right? I've just roughly listed it. Often we don't do that much also. Okay. So the idea is that you should think of doing this. I will take one slide and then after that I will close. Okay. One slide. I think ELT students have heard of this Bloom's taxonomy. Linguistics also? As a language teacher. Who has not heard of it? Heard of it? Heard of it? Can you make it bigger? A bit bigger? So there are 6 stages of Bloom's taxonomy. Starting from remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. Innovation. Okay. Have you thought of this? Because we are not applying Bloom's taxonomy not only at AMU, but in most of the universities and colleges and schools. That is why there is a problem in learning. Most of our questions are related to, you can look at the verbs. Verbs are listed here. Look at your questions that you ask in your examinations, and that is asked by the teachers. Remember only. Or understanding. Not more than that. The question that you asked, the action verb are limited to remember, understanding. That's it. It's not visible from here. Are you able to understand it?
Yes, sir.
Is it a serious problem? All of you are going to spoil a generation very soon. I don't want you to spoil the generation. That is why I'm saying that try a bit. A bit. From understanding, you can take them to apply. Analyze something, a bit. It all depends on your effort. Take it from me that nobody will pour knowledge in your empty vessel. We are there to let you know. We can give examples also. कल से ये वाला लगा दीजिएगा यहाँ पर, ये चेंज कर दीजिए, ठीक है? ये थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे सेंट्रल पोजीशन में होगा तो क्लियर. ओके, आज ही जाकर के ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी को ब्राउज कीजिए और उसमें उसके वर्क के साथ ब्राउज कीजिए और देखिए कि अभी एग्जाम का ज़माना है, हाँ, इंटरव्यू होगा और बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं. What verb you can use? That will change the whole perspective. Okay? So why did I bring this slide here, Bloom's taxonomy? Because it is an established fact that students have a washback effect. जैसा क्वेश्चन वैसी तैयारी. डिफाइन डिस्कस वही तैयारी. अप्लाई तो अप्लाई वाली तैयारी होगी. क्रिएट तो क्रिएट वाली तैयारी होगी. This is normal. Okay? Understand? Am I right? Does it happen with you also? What class are you in? What subject? PhD in English. English department. Good to see you. पहले, in my time, Net JRF में there were 3 papers. One was like the way it is today. And for English, there were 2 papers. One was objective and the second was subjective. And subjective mein there were series of questions starting from 40-word answer to 700-word answer. Was it like that in your 800? How much? How long? 1,000 word. Last question was 1,000 word. And you know, when I qualified, I was stuck there. Because whatever I had prepared was not there. And what is that concept? जो sympathy death होता है उसके लिए क्या word? No. हाँ बोलो. Euthanasia. So euthanasia was there, and I wrote an answer on that. Though I didn't know much, somehow I could reach 550 words, but original. Because no question was there which I could write, and I qualified. "40 words to 1,000 words. After that, they finished, they limited the words, then they finished subjective, and now it is objective only. So, जो पूछोगे वही तैयार कर, यही होता है. That is called backwash effect or washback effect. Am I right, Zainab? सही है ना? हम लोग शेयर करते हैं एक पेपर. So, you know, what I'm saying, that how to improve our teaching, learning activities. It has to be, because there is a problem of academic bankruptcy, and it's very bad. It's good that we do research on this theory, that theory, digital humanities, blue humanities, and okay. But teaching is something different from your research. I get money for teaching. I need to justify that. Halal karna. And I always say this in this class, that professor should get less money and assistant professor should get more money. Because they need money. We don't need money at this point of time. I'm sorry for that. They have गड्ढास. इसको भरना है, उसको भरना है, अब्बा हैं, वो हैं. हमारे टाइम में तो सब मतलब निकल लेते हैं आहिस्ते करके. आई एम टेलिंग. ये पढ़ा रही हैं कितनी क्लास? 22. हमसे 5 क्लास ज्यादा है. लेकिन कुछ कुलीग हमारे पढ़ा रहे 6 क्लास. तो एक I was recently I came to know that we get at our retirement, we get 300 leave encashment. One teacher got 30 lakh rupees for 300 days. 30 lakh leave encashment, retirement के time पे. 300 days we have to save, which can be encashed at the time of retirement. So people got 30 lakh rupees for that encashment. But what about the role that you need to do the whole life? You are getting paid for that. Understand me? Am I right? So, these things, so you should do something about training yourself in improving classroom teaching, as I said in the earlier slide, and implement Bloom's taxonomy with verbs. Examination is very important. I'm happy that Vibha Sharma is here. They are doing open book examination for how many years? 5 years, 6 years, since 2019. It's because of Corona that we stopped, but we were going to make it more challenging. But Corona came and my tenure finished, and that's it. So, because of washback effect, you need to improve upon examination system. अभी कुछ दिन पहले तक फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट पे कोई मार्क्स नहीं होता था एएमयू में, लेकिन अब तो मार्क्स होने लगा. But still, whatever, it's a policy of the department, but whatever, there is some marks. In my time, they notified sessional. I said no sessional. We will go for, what is that? Formative assessment. No sessional, no written test. So we can refuse that also. So anyway, we have to correct the examination system, and automatically teaching will be corrected. I was told by many students who qualified NET and JRF in the last couple of years, since 2029, they came to me in person and they thanked me for changing the syllabi. They said that we are able to answer the questions in NET exams simply by reading the syllabus only, not reading at length, just the syllabus. So what I'm saying, that let us do something to improve, teaching learning situation. Whatever you are doing, you are giving tuitions, you are going to coaching class, you are teaching your children in the house, whatever you are doing. Okay? Thank you very much. We'll talk again later on. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Khan, for your insightful reflections and clarity with which you tied together the learnings of the course have truly enriched us. If there are any questions from the participants, you are most welcome to ask them now.
Feel free. Training the students. This is what I need. Okay, no issues. You may have some questions. Well, could you follow it now?
Well, thank you so much for such an interesting lecture. I enjoyed it thoroughly and I do subscribe to whatever you said. And in some way or the other, try to apply all these things. And it is working for me at whatever level I'm doing it. But when I went to the teachers of school for some of my research work, there, when I was discussing these things, so they gave me this feedback that at school level, applying these things become little difficult because of the strength of the class. There are so many children, and the children are young, and they don't want. You have to try so hard to get their attention and to settle them into the class. And then there is also this time bound thing, and you have to complete the syllabus also. So, what would you suggest, sir, at school level? How can we tackle this situation?
There are two types of teachers. One teacher who has problems to getting solutions. And there is another set who has solutions to the which you belong to. That depends. Nevertheless, the school education is actually prescriptive because they are children. They need to be taught that A for effort. So, that's me. Only my son, when he went to nursery, he got a book where A for one and different. A for and different. And C for caterpillar. And D for dragon. And he used to cry. Because that's the book. So that's okay. But what I'm saying, or what I said at the very beginning, that we need to, to whatever extent is possible. I remember I shared this story to many of my students when in school. Had a math teacher who used to carry 4 sticks. I mean, when he used to come to the class, he will ask her, there was no body call. So, yeah, it's so. Yeah. After the class, he was very nice. He used to go into his house and he used to take his milk out. लेकिन वो करते क्या थे? वो करते ये थे कि क्लास में वो सॉल्व कराते थे, तो वो खुद नहीं करते। तुम आओ, अब आप कर रहे हैं, ब्लैक बोर्ड पे कर रहे हैं, उसमें कुछ गलती हुई, पीछे से पड़ गया, ठीक है, गलती को बताया नहीं कि क्या गलती है, आपको लगा चोट यहाँ पे, तो फिर आपको लगा कि वो सम मिस्टेक, फिर उसके बाद दूसरे को कहते तुम करेक्ट करो, तुम जाओ, तुम जाओ तो पूरे क्लास को इन्वॉल्व करो, स्कूल की बात कर, आई एम टॉकिंग ऑफ मैथ्स। तो वही है, आई मीन देयर इज, आई मीन यू शुड हैव अ बिल फॉर डूइंग समथिंग। तो वो तो है कि भाई क्लास कंप्लीट करना है, कवर करना है, ये करना है, कॉपी चेक करना है, घर पे भी काम करते हैं, वो सब का है, इसमें तो है। लेकिन फिर भी उसी में थोड़ा थोड़ा कोशिश करने पे, लेकिन ये आप यकीन रखिए कि जब आप when you are expert in facilitating students, then you enjoy it. It does not come overnight, it comes over a period of time, and it is always experimental. इस साल में ये सही रहा, लास्ट ईयर सही नहीं था, ये भी होता। तो you can keep changing the experience. ऐसा नहीं कि फिक्स हो गया, वो येलो पेज नहीं होगा, ठीक है। तो पूरा कुल मिला के ये, तो जनरल जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग है ये है कि लेक्चर इज द बेस्ट। इसका रीजन ये है, इसको कोई मसला ही नहीं, आपको थोड़ा सा स्वेटिंग होगा, बट यू आर पेड to make the students learn. Students is very important. आपको पढ़ाने का पैसा नहीं मिलता है, आपको सिखाने का पैसा। You are given, you are paid for making the students learn. So we need to think.
Any other question from the participants?
I would like to add to it. Like in some of the schools, they are incorporating all of these changes now. Like recently, I went to one school for collecting data for one paper. So that school was the kindergarten school. And there was the Montessori education that they were giving. So in that Montessori education, they were not focusing on the textbook or something, but their focus was mainly on the material. So they were having basically around more than 250 plus material, and students were allowed to go anytime to the lab and learn from that. So the conventional classroom was very much missing. They were not in the entire observation that I did over there. So in that, like it was for 1 week. So throughout that, they did not use the blackboard at once. So they are making the changes, and I also interviewed the parents. So they said that they were very happy with the mode of the method of education that they are applying, and they are not wanting any changes to be done into that. They want that they should be looking up to more classes, and they should be encouraging the student in this way. So it was a good experience there, and
I'm happy that the parents are feeling that way. Otherwise, there are parents who will say that you are not teaching.
yes, so they were saying that the student is not burdened at all, and the students are learning through playing only.
I'm happy that the parents have been trained like.
All of them gave the positive response to that.
Good. So that is what I'm saying, that we need to train students also, we need to train administration also, we need to train parents, all stakeholders.
So I wanted to add that we can also be a trend setter actually.
Yeah.
Because there are certain schools who are not willing to change, but when we try and prove ourselves that our method has some potential and we try and do our work in such a way, we inspire some teachers and administrators too. And this has been true in my case, because when I was teaching at a school, Faraz would second this, I was called a foreign teacher, actually, a foreigner, because of my approach, maybe the way, I don't know, I dress differently or what. They all treated me as a foreigner because my way of dealing with everyone was very different. And yeah, I was called foreigner by students as well. And parents used to हाँ, I mean, कुछ को बुरा लगता था, पर मैंने उसको positively लिया actually. कुछ पेरेंट्स आए, उन्होंने कहा कि आपके जो इंग्लिश के टीचर हैं वो सिर्फ इंग्लिश ही बोलते हैं, तो इंग्लिश दिखाने गया तो इंग्लिश ही बोलूंगा हर वक्त। बहरहाल मेरी प्रिंसिपल ने मेरा साथ दिया, डायरेक्ट तो नहीं दिया, लेकिन कुछ टीचर्स ने देखा कि मैं जो कर रहा हूँ उसका अच्छा रिजल्ट आ रहा है, स्टूडेंट्स अंग्रेजी बोल रहे हैं, स्टूडेंट्स को खुद में लुत्फ हो रहा है, मतलब समझ रहे हैं, क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, और दूसरी जगह जा रहे हैं तो अवार्ड्स वगैरह भी जीत के आ रहे हैं। तो एज अ ट्रेंड सेटर आई वाज फेमस, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आई वुड से। एंड दूसरे स्कूल्स ने मुझे कॉल किया, और बिल्कुल बढ़ा के नहीं करूँ, डबल सैलरी पे दूसरे टीचर स्कूल में मुझे हायर किया अगले सेमेस्टर में। तो मैंने काम किया तो उसका फर्क पड़ा, और फिर जब मैं दूसरे स्कूल में गया तो मैं टीचर ट्रेनर भी बना वहां पे एक्चुअली। तो ये करने से दूसरे स्कूल में भरोसा जगा, उन्होंने सारे टीचर्स को मेरे हवाले किया, एकदम रियल एग्जाम्पल है ये मेरा। तो हम करेंगे तो फर्क आएगा। कुछ लोग हैं मेरे ख्याल में हमारे दरमियान में मौजूद जो जानते हैं कि मैंने टीचर ट्रेनिंग भी की है यहाँ। तो करते करते यहीं से सीखे गए। हमारे क्लासमेट्स और भी थे, वीआईएम से हमने भी पढ़ा है, और जो सिखाया इन्होंने उस पर जाके हमने मश्क की, काम किया, उसका रिजल्ट अच्छा निकला। और पढ़ते थे हाउ पीपल लर्न, कुछ साइकोलॉजी की भी किताबें पढ़ते थे, क्योंकि सिर्फ कोर्स पढ़ेंगे हम तो काम नहीं चलेगा, कोर्स के साथ वो फोर्स भी आना चाहिए जो तब्दीली ला सकता है हमारे अंदर। तो कुछ किताबें हैं, जैसे हाउ पीपल लर्न में हमने ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी तब पढ़ी थी, अपनी मर्जी से पढ़ी थी, किसी के कहने पर नहीं। तो इस तरह की किताबें भी थोड़ा सा हम देखेंगे तो फर्क आएगा। और इतना अच्छा सेशन, इतना लाइवली पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करके अगर सीखने को मिलता है, तो मैं ये कहूँगा आप सबसे बतौर एक टीचर के इसको यही ना खत्म करें, ये आगे जाना चाहिए, इसका रिजल्ट आना चाहिए।
No, it should be carried forward, and that is why I say, that's what I said that कि आपका दिमाग जो है वो वैसे नहीं, nobody will pour you knowledge, you have to learn by कुछ भी एक चीज ले लीजिए तो फिर करना है।
शुरू में लोग हंस सकते हैं, देखिए एकदम इसके लिए तैयार है, फर्क नहीं पड़ता, लेकिन आपको जब पता है कि आप सही काम कर रहे हैं तो कॉन्फिडेंस
यहाँ यूनिवर्सिटी में तो लोग नहीं हंसेंगे, हो सकता है स्कूल वगैरह में तो होता है। नितिन, okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so there's one brief announcement. As we wrap up day 3, today's session reminded us that learning is a continuous journey, one of curiosity, growth, and purpose. Before we end, a quick announcement. There will be a 15-minute timed test for all participants to be completed before midnight tonight. It is mandatory and will count toward your certificate of participation. Thanking you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another enriching session. Thank you so much.
Come tomorrow by latest by 2 o'clock, because Professor Manisur Rahman Saab will come from Delhi and he has to go back also tomorrow. So be in time, be in good number. 2.